stand. Now for the soldier overseas.
Welcome to this weekly's Honestly Casual Conversation. It's off for a week. I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining. And I appreciate you all letting me have that week off. My family appreciates it. We're tired and we're ready for another vacation. So let's get a few people on here, grab your coffee, and then we'll get started. We have quite a few things we're going to talk about, ranging from obviously DeWine's mandatory mask order. We have the HEALS Act now. Obviously, we'll talk about a few things like sex trafficking, and I'll fix that green here in a second. So if anyone has any ideas you want to talk about it, I'd be more than happy to discuss it, but stand by and we'll actually get into it. So, during my vacation in Maine, the internet was kind of going on and off. So, bear with me, but I come home and I see the more details of what has happened and transpired over the last week. And it's nuts. Yet, I think last night over in Warren, there was an individual who was shot 2, maybe 3 times and refused cops' assistance. Didn't want anyone help. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You dislike the police officers that much. We have the HEALS Act. The Republican Party has their own version of what the Democratic Party was pushing, what was the CARES Act, and now the HEALS Act. What I think it is honestly just a bunch of more money to cause us more ongoing debt. I think it's ridiculous. I do understand that some people do need some assistance, especially those who are out of a job because of the COVID. Not those living off of it, sitting on their couch, collecting unemployment and $600, making more than 90% of the hardworking Americans that we have here working day in and day out just to make ends meet. But yet here we are, so-and-so is off, not even looking for a job. I'm sick and tired of hearing these people saying there's no jobs out there, because there are. My place of business is actually hiring, but no one wants to do the work. No one wants to work in the sanitation department. Last time I checked, if you need to provide for your family, you got the first thing you can get, and then keep looking. That's how my mother raised me. You find a job, you work for what you get. You don't just sit there and ask for handouts. Hi, Jeannie, Steve, Christine, Mindy, Matthew. Thanks for joining. If I missed a few of you, I'm sorry, but we have I hate Facebook as well, Steve. I was honestly on the verge of getting rid of it before I jumped on my campaign last year and tried to run for Congress, tried to win for the Republican nomination. I was about to delete it. I'm sick of seeing the bantering back and forth. But you know what? It's the best way to reach out, people. It does have its pluses and its minuses, pros and cons. R.C. Zuttenberg tries to tape our mouth shut with everything, basically saying everything is fraud, is a lie. I think there was one post that Stephanie Stock with the Ohio's Advocates Medical Freedom, she actually shared a comment that was something was happening in New Jersey and New York, saying that, hey, these are the statistics in New Jersey. I probably have the city wrong, and here are the statistics, but it labeled it as false information because California does not have those statistics. Figure that one out. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see if we can't fix this. There we go. Alright, that green should be gone now. Do both share. Ohio Freedom Book. I'll look that up, Steve. I'm looking to see whatever I can do to reach as many people as I can. Find out what their concerns are. Let people know what I plan on doing for this community. Even whether or not I get elected or not, I still plan on doing things for the community. For example, we actually have a meeting that's scheduled on the 1st. I'm trying to find a local business that would allow us to do it. Yes, masks are going to be mandatory because that's DeWine, what DeWine did. But we all could sit down and act like we're eating 24/7. the main goal for this fundraiser is to bring awareness to veteran PTSD. Obviously, there's a lot of veterans out there that suffer from PTSD, and they need assistance from the various organizations out there. One in particular that I like, because it helped one of my best friends out, was Dogs of Our Brave. Now we're reaching out to them, trying to see what we can do. Now, obviously, coordinating all this is going to be kind of difficult because the organization may have different rules and regulations during this COVID pandemic than the state. Obviously, with DeWine mandating masks, I really don't want anyone running with masks, even though he said that when you're running, you don't have to. Trying to get all these things in and out, these tweaks, we'll get it going. We'll do something. We definitely, whether we wait or not, we're going to get something going so we can help out individuals. My brother. Hey, Steve, if your brother ever wants someone to talk to, yell at, use pretty much be in an ear punching bag, let me know. If he's in the area, we're going to do another poker night on Friday. You know, we don't have to talk about anything. Just sit there, play poker with a bunch of guys. It's a good night just to release some stress, crack some jokes, have thick skin. You know, it'll be a good time. Ruth, thanks for joining. Still getting a little set up here. If anyone doesn't know, the HEALS Act actually was just presented today. Introduced, more or less. And it's the same thing. It is $1,200 for a single individual that makes less than, I think it's $74,000 a year. And then for a couple, it's $2,400 they're going to get a month, plus $500 for every child on the age of 16. Some good in the act will be they're going to decrease the amount the individuals who aren't working are going to get. Now, not individuals on unemployment. This is what I mean. Before this whole COVID was going on, people were on unemployment. People were on welfare, and they were doing just fine. They were. I understand they were doing just fine. Some were struggling, but it's hard to say that they're struggling when they all have iPhone 10s, 11s, you know, Samsung Galaxy S57s, whatever the new model is. It's hard to try to convince me that they're struggling and they got this stuff. Because I know when I was struggling, the first thing I did, me and my wife, was we got rid of our phones and we got those flip phones. We don't need the internet capability. We don't need the texting capability. Just call in case you need something. $10 phone, $10 a month for both phones. So it's hard to see these individuals saying they're struggling when they have an Armani purse or a Coach bag, or they're driving a Mercedes Benz with brand new rims, or wearing a Rolex watch, or whatever it is that they're doing. So they plan on giving more money to individuals on unemployment, but they're going to decrease it to, I think it's 75%. Thank you, Ruth, for welcoming me back. It was a good vacation. Much needed. But after seeing what the heck's been going on, I think I need another one. So we'll see what happens with it. Obviously, they're going to tweak it or not. I have it right here. It's actually 168 pages. I just pulled it up today. I haven't gone through the nits and gritty of it. I haven't got a summarization of it, except for the $1,200 single, $2,400 combined, and then $500 for each kid up to 3. That's the HEALS Act, what the Republicans submitted. But obviously we have the CARES Act, which is Democrats trying to do, because, you know, we all know that we don't need more debt. But our elected officials really truly believe that we need more debt. Why they're saying that, I don't know. Or they're not saying that verbatim, but we're at $26 trillion in debt. And that is ridiculous. We owe more money than 80% of all the other nations in this world. So here, we'll show you this. Right there. $26 trillion in debt. And going up. It's ridiculous. I mean, you probably can do a drinking game for how many times I say ridiculous, but this is ridiculous. I mean, look at the entire world debt. I mean, we're number 1, 26. The next is China at 7. That is a huge gap. Oh, excuse me, Japan's 12. They didn't do it in order. But still, It's I did the math on all this. All of them don't even come close to what we are in debt. This is ridiculous. We're never going to get out of it. We're never. Unless we stop spending money that we don't have. Stop electing these Democrats in office and start electing, I'm not saying start electing Republicans. I am a Republican. But start electing an individual that has some common sense. Whether it's a Democrat, a Republican, someone from the Green Tea Party, a Libertarian, I don't give a crap. Elect someone who's not going to sit there and look for the money like Householder and take bribes from First Energy just to pass a bill, House Bill 6. Now, regardless of what your feelings are on that, it happened. There's a lot of individuals in office who have ties. For example, Christina Hagan's race when she ran against Gonzalez. First Energy was paying into Gonzalez. When Christina Hagan was a state rep, she told them hell no to it. So I'll give her props on that one. Hagan, kudos. I don't know if you're watching or if someone else can tag her in this, but kudos for standing up and telling First Energy to go pound sand and stick it up where the sun don't shine. You're the only one so far that I've seen that stood up, but that was years ago, and I hope you have that same mindset now. The same time when you're running against Tim Ryan. And I hope you don't backpedal and go with them. Because Householder and everyone else involved in that needs to get removed from office. Period. I'm tired of this dark money. I'm tired of money winning elections. I am tired of it all. The Constitution was written for people like us to run for office, not the money. I'm tired of hearing, well, Rob, we would have voted for you, but you couldn't raise the money, because that's BS. Why don't you give me $10? I have over 4,000 followers on my campaign page. If everyone gave me $10, that's $40,000 a month right there. I could have beat Tim Ryan with the half that. So I'm tired of all these elections being about who has the bigger pocket. Not trying to bash Christina Hagan, because I gave her kudos on the First Energy thing when she was a state rep. However, look who's been giving her money now. Corporations. PACs. Where do you think her loyalty is going to lie? I want to hear her speak out and say that she's not going to be their puppet. And she'll have my vote. I want to hear what she has to say about Householder. She hasn't spoken up about it. I haven't heard any politician, except the new one, Al, who took over Don Manning's spot. He wrote a letter asking Householder to resign. Basically telling him he needs to resign. And he's got kudos for that. And I appreciate it. DeWine, yeah, I know he said Householder needs to resign too, but, DeWine was in First Energy's pocket as well. Yeah, Steve, people were saying that too. Like, well, you're not going to win because you're a Republican in a Democratic area. It's like, well, what are they going to do? When I run as a Democrat, they're going to check me on Facebook and see that I like Trump, that I support the Republican Party, and then next thing you know, you're labeled as a liar. Hence, dark money, dark power, politics. It sucks. I actually met somebody. I'm not going to throw any names out because this person was a great individual, but I was actually at a McKinley Cigar Club, and someone I was talking to was telling me that before I run again, that I should work with the party, learn how the wheels turn, learn how the wheels get greased, and then run. Because unless you can actually grease the wheels, you're not going to win a race. Well, I politely just nodded my head and said, yeah, okay. But in my mind, I want to be like, are you bleeping kidding me? I will never grease the wheel. Because that means I owe them. I will not work for the party. I will work for the people. It's annoying. I can't believe they would say that stuff. And we're electing these individuals in office. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to disrespect Gonzalez, Congressman Gonzalez, but he took First Energy money. I want to hear him speak out. Saying, I was misled or whatever. Or, hey, my bad, guys. I honestly was oblivious to this. That's it. I get it. Politics is sneaky. People like to fake the funk, and it is hard to read people sometimes, to read organizations. So why can't they just say, hey, guys, My bad. I did support Householder. I thought he was a great guy, but I had no idea he had any participation in this. So until I find out the details of it, I'm gonna leave it off the books, and I think people will respect that. I met Householder once. I had a gut feeling. I wasn't too sure. I wasn't going to make a jump snap judgment about him. Now, yes, there is a judicial process. I won't say he's guilty, but look what's the evidence is stacked up against him. But you know what? I'll wait before I make judgments. However, come on, man. It's all right there. Step down. You're an idiot. You care more about your own pocket than the people. Sorry for that little rant, guys. I know I might have missed a few, but Mike, how you doing? Thanks for joining. I have it both on my personal page and my professional campaign / campaign on hold page that I have. You're fine, Mike. We were talking about, if you just joined, I'm Robert. I'm not running for anything, but I'm still here to fight for each and every single one of your rights. Whatever I can do, I'll do it. I am actually writing a letter. I'm writing one to Dwayne, Michelle Laporte-Hagen. I am writing one to Tim Ryan, which you know is going to go in the trash. I'm even going to write the President of the United States a letter. Why not? I am disgusted about what the heck is going on. I am tired of money running politics. It's about time that we actually have legitimate legislation submitted for campaign finance, which means no PACs. Here's just some ideas. There should be no PACs, period, because that's dark money. And this whole thing about the candidate can't have contact with the PAC, that's BS. Look at any candidate's FEC report. You'll see money that's been put in their bank account from the PAC, and they have no contact from the PAC. I think that's kind of bullshit. Excuse my language, but that is BS. You know damn well that they have contact with that PAC, whether directly or indirectly, or, hey, I don't have contact. I didn't know my campaign manager was contacting with them. No, that's wrong. Yeah, I am. Here we go. Trudy, thanks for joining. Sorry, I just got the other page up. Mike, if anyone doesn't know, I'm not too sure if Wojciech's joined, but he's here. Great guy. He's running for state rep up and over in Trumbull County. Air Force, it's kind of a flaw, because he was in the Air Force, not the Marines. But he's a great guy. If you know anyone in that area, definitely give him a vote. Definitely will be a fresher breath air. Or a breath of fresh air. Talk about a tongue twister. He's a great guy. Lala, I am tired of the Democratic mayors. Look what Tito's doing. He is shutting down fire stations left and right. I understand it's a money issue and you do have to make the hard decisions and hard choices from time to time. But what is he doing to bring it up? I'm going to say, guys, hey, we have to close these down. Sorry, that was a call. I think it was my son's school. They'll leave a message. I lost track of what I was saying. But anyways, Mayor Tito is actually closing down these fire stations. I get he needs to save money, but he's not being verbal about why. I follow him on Facebook. I follow him on Twitter. I follow him on his website. I try to email him. But he is not engaging in the people. Try reaching out to him. I don't know if he's just ignoring me because I'm technically not a Youngstown City resident. I live in Austintown. But he should still... Youngstown's 2 streets over. Mark, thanks for joining. James. The other thing I want to talk about is I actually posted this a couple days ago. And it's I want to say it touches my heart a little bit, but it drives me crazy. So it does pull on my heartstrings, but it also boils my blood. Sex trafficking. When's the last time you heard a candidate or official talk about it? Ohio is the top fifth in the entire nation for sex trafficking. We're almost number one. Jennifer, I'll get to that. I don't know who said I alone can fix it. But honestly, I can tell you right now, no one can fix anything alone. You need a good, solid team. You need good people behind your back, in front of you, to the left or right of you, that will stand with you as you stand with them to solve any issue, especially the sex trafficking, which is what I want to talk about. I understand this issue has been around for a while. That's the problem, number one. It's been around for way too long. Why? Number two, where are these kids going? We know. Why aren't we stopping it? Why don't we have a task force? Or do we have a task force? If we do, why aren't they doing a better job? How much you want to bet it's because of funding? You realize there's grants that each state has that can divvy it to different organizations to help combat things like this, like drugs, sex trafficking, or education, rebuilding the community, rebuilding things that are being torn down that make our community look like crap. Tear down abandoned buildings, from the biggest problem to the smallest problem. We have grants for that. The issue is none one in legislative wants to issue it. They don't want to. Vincent, you're right. The drug problem. It's what we're talking about. No one wants to address it. The people do. The people want to address it. Vincent, I know you're working on. Excuse me if I forget the name. New Beginnings. He's working to remodel a McDonald's to help individuals to cope and recover from drug addiction. That's great. Why isn't our state doing that? Why are our local officials doing that? Or why aren't they helping funding? And that's another thing. I'm not trying to down on Vincent's plan. I appreciate it. He's doing great. But if you also look at it, we got way too many organizations out there for one issue. So the money is spread thin. It's like, where do I go? You know, I have sex trafficking A through Z. Who do I fund? Why can't we all work together? So I wouldn't do anything where I would stop people from creating organizations. I would be like, well, how many organizations do we have in this area? Why are these organizations not more in tune to what's going on? Why are they not more focused? Why are they not more engaged in preventing these? Because if they are, these organizations need to go away. Because a lot of people make 501(c)(3)s just for money. Look at the news article with Householder. Again, all this stuff is interconnected. With the bribery, with campaign finances, with 501(c)(3)s being created just to be able to give more money. And I'm going to kill that fly that's on my light because it's driving me crazy. Been trying to get it for like 4 hours now. But yeah, I mean, Vince, I know what you're saying. I mean, the sex trafficking we're talking about, that's drug and alcohol related. I mean, they get these individuals stuck on drugs, and that's how they get them. I don't want to go in details, but one of the biggest things is like, I'll give you a scenario. I'm not a drug dealer. This is just a scenario. I'm a drug dealer, and I find this female who, oh, hey, don't worry about it. Here's some drugs. You know, here's acid, whatever. Here you go. Try it once. You'll feel better. She feels better. She comes back, wants some more. I give it to her again for free. For free, mind you. It's free. Give it to more. Some more. Once she starts getting addicted, that's when it's like, well, hey, you know, sweetie, honey, whatever. You need to start paying for this. And then so she starts paying for it because you have her addicted. Then once she starts paying for it, she ends up starting to steal money because she runs out of money. Sorry, I got lost track. This fly is killing me. She ends up stealing things for money because she has no money because she wants that drug. She's addicted. And then eventually she can't do it anymore, but she still wants that drugs. So guess what happens? Now you're being prostituted. You're stuck in the sex trafficking. And now you're involved because they got you addicted to drugs. That's just one way they get involved. Vincent, absolutely. I'll give you a call. I think I still have your number. If not, I'll send you a message, give you my number. I'm more than happy to talk. But this is how it happens. I mean, that's just one way. Other ways, they just kidnap kids. Just take them on the street. Hey, you want some candy? With a big van that says free candy on the side. It's happened when I grew up. That was a big thing. And we need people to start getting involved and in tuned. Scott, thanks for joining. See, the thing is, Youngstown's not a drug den. I mean, it's getting that way. Yeah, it's bad. Youngstown is getting bad. They got a bad stink. Youngstown, we have a bad picture. We are. Youngstown's horrible. That's what people think about Youngstown. Don't go to Youngstown because you're going to get shot. And there are some areas that you don't want to go to because you will get shot. Why is that a problem? They're reverting to crime. Why they are reverting to crime? There's no careers. They can't say there's no jobs because one person tells me there's no jobs. I'm going to tell you right now that's BS. I've seen countless "we're hiring" signs everywhere. My job's hiring. Now, it is a less ideal job, but it's a job. What we need in this area is careers. We need jobs that will lead to a career, that will give you a stepping stone. I worked at Pizza Hut for like 5 years. It took forever to step up. Warren, Ohio, too. It is. Well, don't get me wrong. I love Youngstown. I mean, it's not bad. To me, it's not bad. But you got to think that we're in this area. We know it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad as what people outside of Youngstown are being told. My wife came from Columbiana. She was told, never go to Youngstown. Her family, when she moved up here, was like, oh, you can't move there. You can't move there. And after she moved up here, she realized that this really is not that bad. So we as Youngstown, we have a bad image. What can we do to change that image? Let's rebuild Youngstown. Let's bring back those jobs, those careers. Let's rebuild our community. We have so many playgrounds, parks that are just abandoned. We have abandoned buildings. That's another. They can't pass a P test either. I mean, it's ridiculous. Because they choose to get the drugs over a job. I've worked at where I'm working at Valley Foods for about a year now, over a year. And we've had several individuals apply for the job. It's not good. I mean, it pays like $10 an hour to start. And you probably can make $11, $12. No, yeah, that's not perfect. It's not a ideal job. It's not that fabulous $150,000 a year job that everybody so desperately thinks that they can deserve just out of college. You have to earn. I am going to kill this fly really hard. I'm going to show it to all of you if it lands on me again. We need to show these kids that they do have a bright future. We need people to see that Youngstown does have a bright future. And I'm not just going to fight for Youngstown. I'll fight for Austintown, Miller Ridge, Bloomfield, Maplewood Schools, Jackson Milton, Canfield, Poland, you name it. I'll fight for everybody. I missed their protest, honestly, yesterday. Angel, we flew in like 12 o'clock, but we were just so tired. Steve, I make $15 an hour. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it, but I make $15 an hour. If it wasn't for my VA, I wouldn't be able to survive. So I get it. But I'm a family man. I have a wife and 3 kids. Now, if you're a single individual, $15 is a lot. But the thing is that these young individuals or these liberals, the Democrats, far left, or whoever, are saying that they live outside their means. That's what's going on. They're living outside their means. They want that 3-bedroom apartment for $10 an hour. It's like, no, live within your means. You're single, go get a studio apartment. Now, Steve, I don't know your personal. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not trying to insult you, but I get it. It is. I have been there where it's hard to pay bills. If I wasn't getting my VA, I would not be able to do it. My wife would have to work. you got called names, Angel, you might want to talk to AOC because I hear that she's a individual that gets called names too. Yeah, see, you're like basically you're trying to live within your means. Now, I am not trying to. I know I don't need details. I'm not trying to blast your personal stuff, Steve, on social media. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. I'm just saying that there are so many other reasons, but the majority of the reasons why the left is saying that there's no jobs is because they don't want to start out with that minimum wage job and work their way up. I really wish there were more jobs wanting $15 an hour, and that's a problem. That's where you gets into a career aspect. We need careers. We have jobs. We just don't have careers here, and that's what we need. We need to bring back manufacturing, technical manufacturing jobs, technical jobs. We need to bring back careers that have a ladder for progression. Yeah, truly, the media is horrible. I just saw today on the news. Remember that gentleman that was at a protest? There was a pro-life protest, and a veteran, American Indian, started beating the drum in front of him, and the media made it out that the young kid wearing a MAGA hat was being disrespectful towards this veteran. And he got blasted. They defamated his character. They destroyed his name. They made him out to be a POS. But he really wasn't, when in fact, it was the American Indian that charged him. Not charged, but came up to him rather quickly and was antagonizing him the whole entire time. And CNN got sued because of it, and the kid won. How much? I don't know, but I'm sure it was quite a lot. Steven, I did have a good vacation. Thank you. If I missed a few of your comments, I'm sorry. Jennifer, if you're still there, thank you for joining. I know I got 3 things going on here. But yes, all right. The mask mandates. Yeah, we were going to get to that. The mask mandates. Everybody knows that I am against wearing a mask. I think it's stupid. But if you want to wear one, you will not see me disrespect you in any ways. Hi, David. I won't disrespect you if you wear one. Don't be rude to me if I'm not wearing one. With that being said, I did get not like a mask, but one of these little coverings, because if I'm going to be forced to wear one, I'm going to show my support. So these are one of those you put over the head and kind of just kick down. I don't like it. I know I've said I refuse to wear one, but here's the deal. If I want to go shopping, I do believe a business could say yes or no. Just like they could say no masks, no shirt, no shoes, no service. I went to York. There were some of the businesses on the beach who were okay with you walking in without a shirt because you're on the beach. But the further away you get from the beach, they say, hey, no shirt, no service. To me, it's the same thing. I'm like, if I don't like it, I can go somewhere else. I know Planet Fitness just mandated masks. I read that too, because I was like, I thought the same thing, Trudy, but they stated that while you're in there, in between exercises, you gotta put your mask on. So basically, one of those on off thing. If you're on a treadmill, you can have it off. Once you get off a treadmill, you gotta put it on. I know a business can't force you to, Stephen, and I'm completely against it too. I do understand it's a violation of the Constitution and everything. However, I don't want to put that business at risk of being shut down, even though it's their I do believe it's their right to say, hey, you don't have to wear a mask. But that wrong person makes the right phone call, and they're going to get shut down, and it's going to be a whole long, drawn-out process just for them to get reopened. I do know there was a bunch of gun stores that were saying no, and some of them got shut down. Maybe it was a restaurant. It was a business that said, you can do what you want. You can wear a mask. I don't care. You don't have to wear a mask. We don't care. And they got shut down. Illegally, but they still got shut down. So I don't want to put that hardworking American out of business just because Johnny Smith down the street saw me walking in without a mask and wanted to call the health department, and now they get shut down. And I get it. I get it. I'm really with everybody on this whole no mask thing. My whole point, I guess, what I'm trying to make is I don't want to cause that hardworking American an issue. Like, for example, that employee at Walmart who's telling you to put a mask on. They were just told, you better make sure you tell everybody or you're fired. So that little kid is scared crapless telling people to wear a mask. Did you not see what happened in May? I think it was May 6th. It was Dollar General or some store where an employee said, hey, ma'am, please put your mask on. The female got upset, went home, told her boyfriend. The boyfriend went to the store and shot the employee in the face. Now, no, I'm not going to go and tell my wife that, hey, this person told me to put a mask on. But there's some crazy assholes. There's some crazy people out there. So that's all I'm worried about. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. You know, you don't wear a mask, you can't go shopping. You know, if the business says we don't care, and you go in without a mask, then you get the wrong person, get a phone call. Now, my son has asthma. He doesn't have to wear a mask, but he'll get yelled at if he doesn't wear a mask. I don't want to deal with that drama, so I have him have it. And if he's got a problem breathing, tell him take it off. Obviously, if someone tries throwing a stink about it, he's going to have this kind of deal with. But I don't want to have to cause that discomfort to that employee who's being told that you're going to be fired unless you tell this person to put a mask on. That's my whole point. Trust me, when I go to work, I have to wear a mask. As soon as I step out of work, I take it off. I do know these masks don't do nothing. They're not medical masks. They can't protect anything. I mean, they don't. These masks are useless. You're going to get COVID even if you do wear them. I do agree. Especially look how thin this thing is. You can see right through it. I mean, it's right there. So it's not really going to do anything, but if it's going to get someone off my back from me being live streamed from having to hold someone down who's attacking me, then I'll put it on. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about helping business. If a business says people don't have to wear a mask, great, outstanding. They definitely have my service. I'd rather go to one who says it's your choice if you want to wear one or not. They have my business. It's the ones who say you're forced to wear it. They don't have my business. But if I need a gallon of milk and it's the only thing open, and I need that gallon of milk now, you know, my kids need milk. So if you guys understand my point, it is false security. We actually had a mask police on the flight. We were sitting down, and this female, she had her mask on, but it was like away from her face. It was like right here. So it was like right there, but it was like over. So it was like one of those cloth ones that was just like sitting like this. So it was away from her face. She could still breathe. But this lady in front of us who had one of those N5 masks, and I tell you what, this thing was on her tight. She had this thing, like you could see the creases in her face. It's crazy. She turned to the stewardess and said, Sir, are you going to be able to make an announcement and tell everyone that they have to have their mask above their nose, up at this ridge, and pressed up against them? And he's like, well, we did, ma'am. She then replied, well, that lady right there is not wearing her mask over her nose. It's like, come on. I mean, don't be a tattletale. I'm sitting there. I got my phone ready. You can ask my wife. I got my phone ready, and I was ready to record one of those plane fights that happened. I was like, this is going to go live. But there were some cuss words exchanged, but just leave someone alone if they're not wearing a mask. If you think this is going to protect you from the COVID, it's fine. If I'm not wearing it, you're wearing it. You're safe, right? But my whole point was just, if you're going to go to a store, leave them alone if they're wearing a mask. If they're not, don't say anything. Especially, we don't even know what their medical condition is. So don't even say anything. Thanks, Mindy. I'll catch you later. I know I'm running a little late. I know I'm past 30 minutes, but I just got off this rant with the mask thing because it drives me nuts. I don't like wearing it. I don't want to wear it. Yes, David, I do. Or Steve, sorry, Steve. Yes, it's crooked. I can fix it. So, I don't know. I think I was born with it, or I think I just got punched in the face too many times. You know, who would have thought some Italian that has an outspoken mind probably got in a few fights? And I'm not going to lie, I guess I did get in a few fights when I was younger. And yeah, probably I shouldn't say that, but you know what? I'm not going to lie to everybody. I was not this perfect angel growing up. And there was never, I always stayed away from drugs and everything and that stuff, but I got in my fights in high school and middle school. But I'm not this perfect angel like all the other candidates said. They had a perfect upbringing. You know, they never got in trouble in a day in their life. If you never got in trouble in a day in your life, you didn't learn. I think I was born with it. I don't know, but I've been in fights, didn't notice it. Could have been from wrestling. I did do wrestling in high school, but I couldn't even tell you. I lost count, Steve. All right, I was not. The Marine Corps straightened me out, and that's one of the reasons why I always preach the Marines. They straighten you out. They teach you. My mom was a great person. She taught me well. And I'm not saying I was this one person going out and looking for fights, but I had my share of fights. But I learned and I grew. And I think those are the types of people we need in office. There was someone who was telling me that they have a friend in Florida who had a not so good background. He had a couple assault charges and some other things. But he pulled away from that type of lifestyle, started fighting like professional boxing, started doing that, and made something of himself. He learned from his past, and he became a good, better person. And this individual, I'm not going to throw any names, but he was worried. He's like, well, Rob, I want to go run for office. He's like, but I'm worried because my past. I'm like, dude, use that past. Because the people will know that you left that type of lifestyle. You had the mentality to pull away from that and make something better of yourself. Those are the types of people we know who've been in the gutter and brought themselves up. Because those are the individuals that will stay true to their heart and fight for the people so that way they do not have the same upbringing as we do. As parents, we want to make sure our kids don't get raised the same way we did. We want them to be raised better. Because the whole goal is to make our kids better than ourselves. Always improve. We want our kids to be better than us. They want to be better off, better educated, better everything. Steve, I just read your comments now. That's funny. But in that, yeah, I told my son, I was like, don't look for fights. I was always told, try to walk away. And I did. Believe it or not, walking away is not always right. I know we're getting off the political, but hey, this is a casual conversation, and that's what we're having. I was always told to walk away. No, I did try, but it's hard when they follow you. It's hard when they back you in the corner. At that point, you have to push forward and you have to fight through. And that's what I'm teaching my sons. Walk away if possible. Don't ever look for a fight, but be prepared. And don't just sit there and fight. Fight to get away. So, I know we're getting off track, but HEALS Act, guys. Check the HEALS Act. We'll cover that. I'll read it. I'll go live again this week after I read it. It's 168 pages. We'll get the details on it. We'll find out the nits and gritties besides the whole $1,200, $2,400, and the $500 that everyone gets for per kid. We'll cover all that. Write your state legislators. Write whoever it is, whether it's Al, I can't pronounce his last name, who took over for Don Manning, Michelle LaPorte-Hagen, Tim Ryan, Senator Ruley, Mike DeWine, President Trump, Vice President Pence. Write these people. Write them letters, call them, leave them messages, and let them know that we are not going to stand up for their continuing hate of America. Obviously, the president doesn't hate America, but you know what I mean. Now, do that. I will release my letters that I'm going to be sending everybody this week. I'll have them done by Wednesday, but we need to contact these individuals. Let them know that we as voters, we as residents, we as the people control the government. The government does not control us. It's time for campaign finance. It's time to get back to work. It's time to open up Ohio, open up this nation, and start addressing real issues like the drug problem, our education problem, sex trafficking issues. Our communities are deteriorating, and we need to rebuild them from the ground up, not from the up down. So unless anyone has anything else, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I'm checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. If I missed any comments or questions, I apologize. I'll try to read over everything. I have the YouTube and the both Facebooks. So I apologize, but thank you all. God bless each and every single one of you, and God bless America.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace.